Break free of dread and feel light, mind, and body. Episode 58. Hi, I'm Clarinda, and you are listening to the Feel Light, Mind, and Body podcast, created for women like you. Women who are experiencing success in so many areas of life, but are struggling with weight loss, stress eating, and decreased energy. Losing weight can feel hard, heavy, and restrictive. That's why every week I will be offering you a different perspective, tips, encouragement, and a unique approach so that you can feel lighter in your mind and body rather than feeling deprived, frustrated, or discouraged. What if you could feel free, yet in control around food for the rest of your life? What if you could enjoy your experience of losing weight and getting healthier? You absolutely can. You're in the right place. Take this time for yourself and let's dive in. The feeling of dread has been popping up in some of my clients' sessions. Dreading the shorter, colder days, dreading going back to work after time off, dreading a difficult conversation that then occupies their mind at 4 a.m. You know those ones. It prevents us from getting that last hour or two of sleep. Dreading getting on the scales after a party-filled weekend. But luckily, none of them were dreading showing up for our coaching session. They knew that they would receive the needed reset, perspective, and encouragement, and then keep moving forward. I'll share a real-life example later in the episode, which of course I only share with permission. But first, how about you? What have you noticed that you've been dreading? Do you ever stay up way too late? Not because you don't know the benefits of sleep, but consciously, or most likely subconsciously, you're thinking, once I go to bed, when I wake up, I have to go here, or do this, or make this decision. And then the next morning you think there's something wrong with you and question, how can I know better, yet keep sabotaging myself over and over? In this example, you're then so tired and it takes more energy to stay focused on your work. The dread continues into the long afternoon. After supper, you collapse on the couch and just want to zone out and escape from your day for a while. One Netflix episode rolls into the next, and suddenly it's after midnight, and the inner critic raises her voice again, leaving you feeling defeated and dreading the next day even more. That's important to notice because the feeling we're experiencing when we go to bed is often the one we wake up to. And I think someone needs to hear this. When you end up on a Netflix binge, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not disciplined. You just might be prolonging the relaxation time because your body and mind are seeking relief from being full out all day. If you add in wine to your evening, your quality and quantity of sleep have been affected, and you just feel blah. No, probably not a hangover feeling, but there's a difference in how you feel. Sometimes people don't become aware of the difference until they change that pattern. Many of my clients who've decided to reduce or take a break from alcohol tell me that they didn't realize the effect it was having on them as they'd been experiencing that same way for so long that it felt like their norm. Or they were labeling it, blaming it as part of perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. Discipline is valuable, but there can be ease when you get to the root of what's creating the problem. Most commonly, we can't discover the root when we're in the middle of it. At least I know I can't. We continue to perpetuate the cycle and feeling of dread. When we're tired, our bodies will prompt us with cravings for carbs to give us a quick energy boost. That's just part of our survival instinct. Here's another common example of dread. When we dread stepping on the scales, we decide to stop weighing ourselves, usually with a justification of not wanting to be controlled by the scales, which, by the way, is not what I teach. Scales are simply one metric of our body's response to what we're doing or not doing. We don't let that dictate our day. The most valuable use for the scale, in my opinion, is it reveals our thoughts about our progress or lack thereof. And that's a great thing if we use it for self-awareness, for decision-making, and growth. It doesn't control us, but it can motivate us to take back control and help us remember why we want to get healthier. Having coaching support makes this experience easier and faster because I help you see what your brain is offering you that has given you your current results. Then you can make an empowered, deliberate decision that you like. But for now, here are 3 steps you can try. 1. Increase your awareness. Ask yourself what it is that you're dreading. If you say, I don't know, then decide to find out by noticing what thoughts are rolling around in the back of your mind throughout the day. If you're a subscriber and listen weekly, then you may guess what the next step is after identifying what you're dreading. 2. Gain clarity. Get clear by writing. Make a list or a brain dump to stop or at least decrease the looping in your mind all day and night. Doing so will give you perspective. When you think you're done, ask again, what else? You might be surprised at what comes up, but don't resist it as it's part of that heaviness you need to be free of. And step 3 is action. You can decide what you want to let go of and what you want to zone in on. Your brain can then calm down knowing you're going to work through it and you have it written down. This simple step can decrease your anxiety or dread of all the things calling your name. It doesn't fix it, but it gives it an outlet. In addition, find something to look forward to that doesn't feel like work or makes your work more enjoyable. Bring it to a coaching session, whether you're working with me or someone else. This will provide a different perspective and stimulate ideas that weren't available to you before in your preoccupied state. When you're open to a new way of thinking about your situation, commit to practicing it, without trying to be perfect, I'll add, and then come back the next week. You'll be so happy with the change in how you feel. The biggest takeaway for you is to know that the feeling of dread stems from what you're thinking about XYZ, not the XYZ itself. That's why it's so beneficial to your mental and physical health to get help with your mindset. It isn't a complicated or scary process. It actually provides relief, freedom, and momentum. I might have lost you for a moment when I said it's not the XYZ, the circumstance, creating the dread. Your mind is producing an argument for your case right now, most likely, and I get it. My brain still wants to do that every time as well. So let's look at an example. At the time of this episode, it's December 19th, 6 days from Christmas Day. Your dread might be the holiday gathering you offered to host sometime between now and New Year's. At the time you volunteered, your thoughts may have been, oh, I love having everyone over. I love the connection. It'll be so much fun. And I'll make this, or we can play this. Maybe we should have a Secret Santa. Now, as it gets closer, your thoughts are, I'm running out of time. Why did I commit to this? And by the way, that's actually a great question to answer, to remember your why, of why you wanted to host. Now, thoughts and questions are swirling like, I wish someone else had offered. There's so much decorating to do. When will I get the gifts wrapped? I'll be too exhausted to even enjoy it. Getting all of this out on paper in a brain dump will provide some relief, especially if you take the next step of deciding how you want to feel about this gathering and find a thought that will produce this. A few that would work for me are, things don't have to be perfect. I don't need to do all the things to feel connected. It's more about being together than all of the extras. I want to enjoy this as well. I don't want to miss out on the fun. Then you can take the next step of eliminating, delegating, or scheduling what and when you'll do things on a calendar so that you can feel reassured that it's possible. If it doesn't feel possible, then again remember how you want to feel. Peaceful? Relaxed? Then ask what else you can eliminate or delegate. The short time this will take you will save you so much time. Thinking less anxious thoughts that create dread and stress will make this season what it's intended to be for, celebrating with joy, love, thankfulness, and connection. Remember the very first Christmas, the real reason for the season, was simple, was humble, and yet was still so amazing. Reflect on that a moment as you sip your coffee, walk, or drive the last few clicks to your destination. Now I'll share a recent client's experience with dealing with dread. Barbara summed it up in this way. She says, the sense of dread was with me for a long time. Guilt, overwhelmed, confused, and many feelings and thoughts all balled up. I've worked with Clarinda since the fall of 2022. Her coaching, teachings, and tools have helped me unravel the ball. There have been lots of aha moments, some backtracking, but mostly a slow forward journey of discovery and a slow transition into a new lifestyle that takes care of me first so I have the energy to help others. And the transition continues. I am not perfect, but the feeling of dread mostly has been replaced. And when it comes back, I have ways of working through to a lighter, more self-compassionate state. I'm always appreciative when clients agree to share to inspire others, but it's never an expectation. So thank you, Barb. She became more aware and got curious about where the feeling was coming from. Together in our coaching sessions, we untangled it, which provided relief for her mind. She would do the personal reflection time as her awareness grew and bring it back to the next coaching session. Each week, she was understanding it more, making progress, and feeling so much better and productive. Coaching helped her lean into the feeling of doubt, which can feel scary or too hard when trying to do so alone. As a result, she could see it for what it was with self-compassion rather than resisting it, judging it, or turning to other things to distract herself from dealing with it. She felt supported. I know I've worked through some hard things with a coach, and I'm so thankful that I found coaching in 2016 and then believed in it so much that I took the leap to get certified so I could help others experience the freedom and ability to rise above any circumstance in an empowered way. It didn't change the circumstance of dealing with aging parents and then grieving my dad and mom's slow dementia process. It didn't change my unexpected separation and then long 7+ years divorce process. It didn't change the effects of COVID and the pivots I made in my business, but it sure did make the experience more bearable. It kept me out of depression and disempowerment. It allowed me to still find joy in the journey. I grew so much through all of this. Did I turn to food for comfort? Absolutely. But it was occasionally, not daily, because of coaching. Did I have days when I didn't want to see anybody and wanted to stay in bed all day? Yes, but I chose not to. On those days, if I could book a coaching session, I did. If I couldn't, I would take the time to self-coach and then do something that was truly nourishing for me and wouldn't create a backlash. I did it imperfectly, perfectly. Coaching truly was a game changer for me, along with other things in my life that's always been there and supportive. An example would be faith and my friends and my family. It was an answer to prayer for how I could move through an unexpected circumstance where I wanted to be able to choose to be better rather than bitter, but I was struggling to do so on my own. I asked for guidance and help, and it came my way in the form of life coaching. I almost dismissed it, but I didn't. It felt like a sign. I'm so glad I made that decision, and I only wish I had discovered coaching earlier in life. But that makes me more passionate to share with you so you don't waste more time, money, opportunities, and energy simply spinning your wheels or getting on and off the merry-go-round, as one client described it for her past weight loss attempts. I still have feelings of dread, and so will you. But I'm now like, okay, this feeling is trying to tell me something. Let's take some time to explore it and find out. I've learned that the sooner I do this, the less momentum it gains in my thoughts. Does that make sense? Think of what we resist persists and gets stronger. Empowerment coaching provides a safe, non-judgmental place to open up to this feeling or any thought or feeling that is creating some heaviness in your heart, mind, or body. Together we can solve for it, and you can gain confidence in getting out ahead of the dread with some simple tools and practices to choose from that will positively impact how you experience your life daily. I'm excited for those of you who will get help with this rather than trying to do it alone. We are meant for connection and community. We deserve to be supported in a compassionate and empowering way. Every day, I understand myself better, and it feels so loving, kind, and nurturing. When I'm being hard on myself, I pause and apply these principles and practices. It's so valuable. If you want this coming year to be different, then join me as I help you and other women who are also thinking, enough is enough. I want to achieve and feel proud of, and you can fill in the blank, because that will look slightly different for each individual. Go to this episode's description next. You'll see the link to sign up for January 15th's Feel Light, Mind and Body 3-month online program with weekly coaching. You can also book a free 20-minute consult if you're on the fence. Zero pressure, but I can answer your questions, support you in whatever decision you make, and leave you feeling more empowered than how you showed up. I love these sessions to have a chance to connect with you. The time slots won't be as plentiful because I'm taking time to be connected with my family. But if there's one that works for you, book it, and I'll look forward to seeing you. Also remember, I have gift certificates available for whatever amount you or your loved one wants. They can reach out to me and we'll personalize a printable gift certificate so they can wrap it up for you. Imagine finding that in the toe of your stocking. The most lasting and effective gift for your health and happiness long term. I'll add the contact email to the episode's description as well. If your loved one is a last-minute shopper and wants to avoid the crowds, they'll be extra happy to do this for you. So, until next week, decide how you want to feel and what you need to support you. Don't stay swimming in your negative thought loops that create feelings of dread, overwhelm, discouragement, anxiety, or fear. Open up to what is possible and enjoy this beautiful season. The remaining time we have this year to connect, love, and be loved. I'm missing my dad, who passed on the 15th of December, but I'm going to choose to think of all of the loving memories and great times we've had together, including all of the Christmases that he so loved. I'm sending you so much love, and just know that I'm here to help you and be your biggest cheerleader as you practice doing the same for yourself. Now, do yourself the biggest favor. From love, take at least one action step from what you learned today. Knowledge without application won't give you the results that you desire. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, what you are choosing to do and when. And yes, please leave a podcast review wherever you are listening to this. When people read your words and can see themselves in them, then you are contributing to women empowering other women. And that feels amazing. You just might change or save a life today.